Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Advice. Ask Tall Paul, and I'll give you answers to life's questions. Today we have two different people asking similar questions. One is Court, and the other one is Just Magically Me. So Court says, I'm so hungry, but I've not stopped eating. Help, I need advice. And Just Magically Me says, I'm starting to be obsessed with calories. Need advice. It's a bit scary. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing both of these in the same video is I think they're related. Okay, now I am not offering medical advice. I'm going to share my life and what I'm doing and how I have overcome these things. All right, so basically, a year ago in March, I had a medical test, just a standard checkup, and my doctor said that my blood sugar was a little high. He says he wasn't concerned, but he just wanted to let me know because in my family tree, on every side of my family, people have diabetes, okay? And so because it's so important to me to monitor that, I decided I needed to do something to make sure that my blood sugar was in control. So I did some research and I found a website called The Diet Doctor, and there's a section there, it's dietdoctor.com/diabetes, which talks about how eating a LCHF diet, which means low carb, high fat diet, can help you control your blood sugar. Now, what I'm talking about here can work for everyone. You do not have to be diabetic to follow this diet, and you have in all of our bodies, we have two ways of processing sugar or getting energy for our bodies. One is by burning glucose, and the other is by burning fat. So when we're eating a high carbohydrate diet, what our body does, it uses insulin, which is a hormone, and it converts it to glucose. And the more carbs we eat, the more insulin that's produced. And this, because we have so many carbs, it stores the carbohydrates into our fat. Okay, and that's how America's getting obese, more and more obese every single year. And we look at the children, completely obese, and it's really, really sad. And honestly, if you think of our American diet, they call it the SAD diet, which is very high carbohydrate. People are getting more and more fat, and diabetes is on the rise. Okay. So I saw this in my own situation where my blood sugar was a little elevated. I'm not diabetic, but I wanted to take it under control. So I chose to take this diet. I'm not going to say this again. I am not giving you medical advice. I'm telling you what has worked for me. Please talk to your doctor to see what is good in your situation. So last March, I decided to do the LCHF diet, low carb, high fat diet. This is different than Atkins diet. Atkins diet is low carb, high protein, okay? And my understanding is if you eat too much protein, protein can actually become turned into glucose in the bloodstream, which again could be stored as fat in the body. So if you look at the dietdoctor.com, you will see that when you eat the low carb but high fat diet, because you become what's called ketogenic, and this happens if you eat high protein as well, like on the Atkins diet. When you are in ketosis, your body no longer is relying on glucose from your bloodstream to burn calories and to function. What it does is it converts fat into usable energy. All right, so that's the science behind it. Now let's get back to these questions. I'm so hungry, but I can't stop eating. All right, well, on this LCHF diet, I'm telling you, I am never hungry. There comes a point when your body, because it goes into ketosis, and it's using your stored body fat for energy, you're no longer in this cycle of being hungry, 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 hungry. And what I have found prior to this, when I was eating high carbohydrate diet, the you're never not hungry, like, because the more carbs you eat, especially sugar, the more sugar you eat, the hungrier you are. And honestly, it's not you being hungry, it's your system thinking it needs to, burn this sugar and carbohydrates. And it's just a horrible cycle. Once you start eating low carbohydrates, so no processed foods like bread, the other thing is, like, you can certainly eat vegetables, but on this LCHF diet, you want to avoid not as much as possible, but you don't want to eat vegetables that grow below the ground. Okay, so like carrots, because they're high in sugar. Potatoes, very high in starch, and they convert easily to sugar. But the vegetables that grow above the ground, so like broccoli, cabbage, spinach, lettuce, the things that grow above the ground are low in carbohydrate, and they do not have a lot of starch in them. So those are perfectly free foods to eat. And once you get into ketosis, that hunger that you're talking about goes away. And on this diet, you eat when you're hungry, and your body will tell you when you're hungry, and it's great. So the other part was, it says, I'm starting to be obsessed with calories. On this, you absolutely do not ever count calories. You don't have to count calories. All you have to do is watch your carbohydrate intake. And the carbohydrates we're talking about are basically anything in a box. So cookies, crackers, cakes, bread, anything that's processed. What you should eat are natural foods grown by Mother Nature. And yes, you can eat fat. So it's a high fat diet. You can eat butter, you can eat bacon. Avocados are a wonderful food, and I forget about them, honestly. And I live in Southern California. They grow the avocados right near us, and literally in my grocery store right now, I can buy avocados for 25 cents each. I just talked to my friend who lives in Phoenix. His avocados, he says, cost $2.99. What am I doing forgetting to eat avocados? They're incredible. The other thing is, like, another very good food is the coconut oil. Coconut oil is very beneficial, and that's something else you can put into a salad. You can cook your eggs. Eggs are incredible, high protein, good fat food that you can eat on a regular basis. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. I am not offering medical advice. I am telling you to please discuss this with your own doctor, and you can make a decision with your doctor if this is good for you. I'm just reporting my results. So we've talked a lot about not being hungry, and it's true. I'm not hungry. My body tells me when I'm naturally hungry, okay, instead of this fake hunger caused by eating too many carbohydrates and junk food. And the other thing is being obsessed with calories. You don't ever have to count another calorie on this diet, because you're only eating when you're hungry, and you're not hungry very often, all right? Now, why do people count calories? Because they're obsessed with losing weight. And this is the honest truth. Since March, and this is now February, I have lost 75 pounds eating the LCHF diet. Low carb, high fat diet without exercising. I just do my regular life. I live my life as I always have. In less than a year, coming up on a year, I've lost 75 pounds. And, why do I have to count calories? I have done 0 calorie counting. I have not been working out at the gym. And so, this should help relieve you from all of the other stuff that you've done in the past. I have been overweight my whole life, and I have eaten the standard American diet, which they call the SAD diet, Standard American Diet. I've eaten just like you and everyone else. Go to restaurants and all that. And because of that, I have over my life, gained a lot of weight. But what has worked for me, like I've been on Jenny Craig. Jenny Craig was great. The food was delicious. I lost weight, but there came a point where all of a sudden I couldn't eat one more bite, and I stopped doing it. And as soon as I stopped doing it, the weight came back on because I kept eating the way everyone else eats, just eating what's in the grocery store. I did MetaFast, which was all liquid diet, and I totally lost weight. I lost a lot of weight, and I was committed to that diet. But that was a liquid diet that Oprah was on many years ago. And as soon as I started to eat real food again, the honest truth is all of a sudden I had a gallbladder attack. And I was like 28 years old. And I went to the doctor. Actually, I had to go to the emergency room. And they're like, this usually happens in women. It's very rare to have it in men. And so that was on a Monday. On Wednesday, I had a second attack. And they said because I was so young, they wanted to remove my gallbladder. So, that weight loss program, I lost an organ over. And honestly, it wasn't the program. What's gotten us in trouble, all of us in trouble, is eating the sad standard American diet. Okay, so this is the first time in my life where I'm eating food that I want to eat. I can eat nuts, although nuts do have carbohydrates in it. But you just, eat a handful of nuts. I choose almonds and walnuts. These are lower carb nuts. Peanuts are not really good for you to eat because they have higher carbs because peanuts grow in the ground. Remember what I said, any vegetables that grow in the dirt or below the ground have higher carbohydrates, and those we should avoid because it will prevent us from going to ketosis if we eat too many carbs. So on this diet, they recommend eating per day, if you're going to be very strict, 20 grams of carbs or less. Moderate is 30 grams, and loose or light carbohydrate moderation would be about 50 grams, okay, or less. Anything above that will prevent you going into ketosis, and you won't have the benefits that I've been talking about of not being hungry and losing your body fat because you're in ketosis. All right, so I've talked a lot. I am so happy. There's several members of my family that have been on this ketogenic diet, low carb, high fat diet. We all have the similar results. Now, I didn't tell you this part, and this is the most exciting part really is in March, the doctor had given me my results of the blood test. And in 3 months, I went back and did another blood test just to make sure that this diet wasn't screwing me up. And every single thing, so my blood sugar, my cholesterol, my triglycerides, everything improved within 3 months. All right. So in March, I'm going to go back to the doctor and get my blood test again to see if after 1 year, if things have improved or got worse. But honestly, I feel great. I keep having to buy clothes because, I've lost 75 pounds. And honestly, I'm only 5 pounds away from my original goal. My goal was not about weight loss. It was about blood sugar control. That was in control 3 months into it. And I don't even think about that anymore. It's like, wow, now I'm losing weight. And so this is a complete added benefit to it all. And so when I think about, I'm 5 pounds away from my original goal, now I'm going to reevaluate how much more weight to lose. And it's not really a matter of me determining it. I think my body's just going to stop losing weight at some point, and, I'll be back. But I do have love handles, and there's some more to go. But, it's just a miracle to be 5 pounds away from a goal. That's incredible. All right. So I hope, and I'll probably have more videos about this in the future because I think a lot of people need to hear about it, and I think it can help you because if you're like me You've tried every diet out there, and you are committed. You don't cheat. You know, you're committed, but they don't work. And this is a lifestyle. It's a way of eating that you don't have to deprive yourself of fat. So you can eat bacon, you can eat avocado, you can eat nuts, and all those things that you were told not to, except for your breads and your sugars, which you shouldn't be eating anyway, because the sugar is bad on so many levels. Like this, you can eat cheese. Cheese I eat every day. I love cheese. It's great. All right. So one more thing I'm going to leave a link to down below, if I can find it on Amazon, which I know you can get, is a protein drink that I love because it only has 30 grams. It has 30 grams of protein, which is a lot of protein, but only has 1 gram of sugar. That is nothing. So I personally do get a little constipated when I drink the protein drink, so I use them sparingly. But when you want a little treat, these protein drinks are amazing. They taste so good. And my favorite is the strawberry. The vanilla is also delicious, but they come in other flavors like chocolate. I'm not really a chocolate fan, but it tastes good. I've had it. They also have banana. And the banana, it's good, not my favorite, but if I had to choose, it'd be strawberry, vanilla, then banana. And if you're a chocolate person, the chocolate are very good, okay? All right, this has been a long video, but you can tell how excited I am because it is something that I'm very comfortable with. I have been doing this for almost a year, and I have no plans to stop. And this is not something that you stop. You just stay on it, and your body no longer has the cravings. The body, you don't have to think about calories, and I really think this is an answer to your questions, okay? So if you have any comments, please leave them below, or advice for the people, you know, who've asked these questions. And maybe if you've been on the LCHF diet, give us your reaction, how it's worked for you. And other than that, if you have any questions, please either leave a comment down below, or you can email me at advice@asktallpaul.com, and I'll try to answer your question in a future video. Also, if you like my videos and you'd like to help support me, you can go to Patreon. So patreon.asktallpaul.com, and you can sign up to become a patron of the work that I do. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. I love you, and I really care about you, and I want to make sure that you know you have at least one friend on this planet who cares about you, who will listen to you, and will you know, help you with the questions that you have. All right, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.